Hi, you can see my face now. Sorry if this lighting is atrocious, by the way. I don't have much for lighting outside of a window and a light in the middle of the room right now. I'm going to be buying lighting and a green screen shortly. I just wanted to get this video out ASAP. But anyway, there are a couple of reasons I'm showing my face, and they both tie into what this video is all about. As that kind of implies, there are a couple of topics I want to talk about, so let's get started. The first reason why we have face cam is because I just think it'll make for better footage than me playing Pokemon or something, and that's because the first thing we're talking about is Betterhelp. In my last video, there's a sponsorship for Betterhelp, and you all made your opinion on that loud and clear in the comments section. If you don't know, Betterhelp has been embroiled in controversy over the past few years, and I want to take a bit to go over what they've been accused of. Perhaps the biggest thing Betterhelp was accused of was handing over sensitive consumer data that it promised to keep private to companies such as Facebook, Pinterest, and Snapchat for marketing purposes. Data such as IP and email addresses. This resulted in a complaint being filed by the FTC, where the previously mentioned allegations were formally made against Betterhelp. The complaint even features this alarming paragraph pretty early on that reads, "In 2017, Betterhelp delegated most decision-making authority over its use of Facebook's advertising services to a junior marketing analyst who was a recent college graduate, had never worked in marketing, and had no experience and little training in safeguarding consumers' health information when using that information for advertising. In doing so, Betterhelp gave the junior marketing analyst carte blanche to decide which visitors' and users' health information to upload to Facebook and how to use that information. This same individual, who now holds the title Senior Marketing Analyst, continues to oversee Betterhelp's use of Facebook's advertising tools." That is, quite frankly, insane. People's health data is really sensitive and important, and giving a random, freshly graduated college student complete freedom over how to use this data, it's like giving your 16-year-old your Ferrari and trusting him to not go over the speed limit and to not get a single scratch on it. It has all the makings of something bad happening. Furthermore, at the time of filing this complaint, that employee not only still works there, but they got a promotion. Maybe this is just me, but getting a promotion kind of implies that your boss liked your work and valued your contributions, right? If that was the logic behind this dude getting a promotion, yikes. The FTC's complaint also alleges that the junior marketing analyst was given, quote, little training on how to protect health information in connection with advertising until 2021, despite Betterhelp claiming to have, quote, provided privacy training to its employees since 2015. These are really depressing allegations, and I keep saying allegations because, well, while Betterhelp agreed to pay $7.8 million in order to provide partial refunds, Betterhelp maintains that agreeing to the settlement isn't an admission of guilt. It's also worth mentioning that the alleged selling of consumer data stopped happening in December of 2020. I don't know if that really makes things any better, but it's probably important to include that information here, so I'm including that information here. By the way, that $7.8 million in partial refunds was distributed evenly between 800,000 people, resulting in each of them receiving approximately $9.75. For reference, Betterhelp charges $65 to $100 per week for their services, although it's billed every 4 weeks, meaning you get charged between $260 and $400 per month. So they weren't kidding when they said partial refunds. Speaking of which, I stumbled upon a couple of Reddit threads while looking into Betterhelp that had some pretty concerning comments. One user talked about how their wife's appointment got rescheduled so much, she went 3 months without an appointment. Meanwhile, they were still being charged a subscription fee every month, despite not having a single appointment. Canceling your subscription also seems to be a pain in the ass, with this Reddit user talking about how they found the cancellation process to be, quote, virtually impossible, and that they had to, quote, fight for ages to get a refund and get Betterhelp to cancel their subscription. It doesn't sound much better for therapists either. One former Betterhelp provider talks about the pay being atrocious for their line of work, on top of a complicated pay scheme that incentivizes you to work 45 plus hours per week to earn the most amount of money that you can. They also state that Betterhelp explicitly encourages text-based therapy, quote, despite minimal evidence of the efficacy of chat-based therapy. There's a lot more to this comment. I'm going to link it in the description, and I encourage you all to go read it. One last thing I want to touch on is that while BetterHelp says it'll match you with a therapist suited to your needs, that doesn't always happen. An article from the Wall Street Journal talks about how Caleb Hill, a gay man from Tennessee, signed up for BetterHelp after getting kicked out of his parents' house after he came out to them. He told BetterHelp he wanted a therapist that specializes in LGBT issues, as he missed his family and wanted to be able to reconnect with them. Unfortunately, Caleb was assigned a less than ideal therapist. According to Caleb, quote, he said either you sacrifice your family or you sacrifice being gay, end quote, which, in my humble opinion, isn't what you should be saying to that man in that situation. The article goes on to state that Caleb's experience with BetterHelp discouraged him from seeing other therapists for a long time, which, yeah, can't say I blame him. Also in that Wall Street Journal article is a quote from BetterHelp about Caleb's experience that reads, in part, given the scale of the service, unfortunate and negative experiences are not completely unavoidable. Like, okay, I get it. I've been to therapists that weren't a good match for me. I'd be willing to say most people who have gone to therapy have also been with at least one therapist that wasn't a good match for them. Here's the thing though. If your app or service or whatever you want to call it interprets Christian counseling as an acceptable replacement for someone who specializes in LGBT issues, this might just be me, but I don't think whoever coded that part really understands how mental health works. Or LGBT issues. Caleb is far from the only person who was matched with a therapist that was less than helpful, shall we say. All of this isn't to say that everyone who's ever used BetterHelp has had a negative experience, but a lot of these stories are messed up. People seeking mental health care are in a very vulnerable place, and BetterHelp has shown, more often than not, it doesn't really know how to be of help. When I was contacted about entering a sponsorship deal with BetterHelp, I had just finished getting settled into a new place. I had just moved out of my parents' place, and I had no job and needed money, so I didn't think twice about it and took the sponsorship deal without looking into BetterHelp. This isn't an excuse or anything. I'm just trying to provide context for what was going through my mind when this was going down. But, obviously, the BetterHelp sponsorship didn't work out well, and I'm now well versed into what makes them a controversial company. I also learned the valuable lesson of looking into sponsors before advertising them, something I definitely should have known beforehand. I did a lot of apologizing in the comments section of the last video, but let me take a moment to say it once again. I'm sorry. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about in this video. The second topic is something I've been thinking about for a while now, and I think now's a good time to talk about it. Not because it's related to the BetterHelp stuff, it's not, but just because I'm here in front of the camera already. When it comes to making videos, being a content creator, I think the toughest thing for me has been my mental health affecting how often I put out new videos. I've struggled with mental health for a while, and I think something that's contributing to my mental health struggles is that if I asked you, the viewer watching this right now, what kind of videos I make, you'd probably respond with Pokemon fact videos, or something that's somewhat related. And it's something I love. I love Pokemon. I have a lot of weird knowledge crammed in this head about the series. I love learning new things about the games. If you ask what are the most important things for any YouTube channel Two very good answers are quality and consistency. I think I have a good enough grasp on quality. I'm not going to claim my videos are the best thing known to mankind, or the eighth wonder of the world, or anything like that, but they're definitely good enough, you know? Consistency refers to not only the volume of uploads, but the content of your uploads as well, one's niche. And it's that latter aspect of consistency that I am growing unsatisfied with. I think I'm experiencing burnout with the type of videos I'm making, and it doesn't seem to be going away. Like I said, I love Pokemon. It's my favorite video game series. It means so much to me, but I think I need a change. I think I need to be able to talk about more than just Pokemon, more than just these obscure pieces of trivia, bizarre glitches, silly facts. So the logical question is, what does more than just Pokemon look like? I think the answer is video games as a whole. I want to talk about not just Pokemon, but other video games, other aspects about gaming as well. I want to talk about the giant mess that is Sonic 06. This game's gonna turn 20 years old next year. I want to talk about how much I love challenge runs. I want to gush about video games from my childhood, and while Pokemon is a part of that, it's far from the only thing. I'm also going to be showing my face in these videos too, which is the other reason I whipped out the webcam for this video. I gotta get y'all used to this mug of mine. I know not everyone is going to be on board for this change, but I hope you'll at least give it a shot. I'll even ease y'all into it a little bit. My first proper video in this style will be about Pokemon. I'm also going to be rebranding my channel. New name, new logo, new everything. I never really used my VTuber much on this channel, outside of my playthrough of Pokemon Snakewood, so I think it just makes sense to go ahead and fully shed that part of me. In VTuber terms, I'm graduating. You might be wondering what the new channel name will be, and the answer to that is Morgan's Corner. My name is Morgan, and I want my YouTube channel to be my little corner of the internet, where I get to talk about all sorts of things that I like or are on my mind. Over the next few days, I'll be changing the channel branding, so if you see Morgan's Corner all of a sudden and wonder where Yuki Hoshikawa went, now you know. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you quickly. I'll also have a post talking about the rebrand in my channel's community tab, so you can also head over there. I think that's about it, so take it easy everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.